Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to do something that I've never done before, which is a full face of drugstore makeup products. To give a bit of a disclaimer, because I know we shouldn't have to give a disclaimer, but I know that everybody's opinion on what is affordable and what is drugstore is different. For me, I'm talking about kind of more, I don't want to say low end, but more budget, affordable products that are not going to cost you loads of money. Affordable means completely different things to different people depending on your circumstances. There also may be some affordable K-beauty products, because a lot of the K-beauty makeup brands have very good price points, very affordable, really good quality for that price point. So I might include some of those as well. Even though they're not as easy to get your hands on here, I still wanted to include some of them because they are really good prices. And if you don't mind like waiting, you know, a few weeks or 3 or 4 weeks for shipping, then you can get a lot more for your money than you can with high-end brands here or like similar types of products here. Most of these products I already had on my collection. If you have seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I don't use like exclusively affordable or high-end makeup. I use a mixture of both every day in my makeup. Some of these products are completely new to me. I haven't tried them at all. I was going to use a number 7 foundation. I recently repurchased the Hydra Luminous Moisturizing Foundation, which is one of my favorite foundations ever. And then I also bought the Pro Artist Weightless Silk Sheer Foundation because to me it looked like it was going to be quite similar to their Super Light Foundation, which is like one of my all-time favorite foundations, which they discontinued a few years ago. I have been testing this out and using this again. However, both of these are, I think they're 25 or 26 euro. So they are, you know, on the more medium end of the scale, I would say. So I wanted something that was more affordable than that, because I think 25 euro is a good price for a great foundation, but it is still maybe out of some people's budgets. And I wanted to kind of have a look at some brands and say, can I get the quality that I like? Can I get something that looks good on my skin at a lower price point than these? So after doing some research, I came across this foundation, which I did, to be honest, I don't really, there's some brands I don't really keep up with their new releases. There are some products that I suppose that are kind of like thrown in your face because they're, you know, they go viral online and you see them more and you see people testing them. But this was one, I think it was released last year or the year before, I'm not sure. But this is the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I got the shade Fair Neutral 13, and this is described as a medium buildable coverage, long-lasting foundation with 1% hydrating hibiscus complex. It's also vegan and cruelty-free. So the description of this says, get buildable just right coverage with a long-wearing satin finish with the hydrating foundation that's anything but basic, and it's made in China. So I'm going to try this out today and see what I think. I haven't used it before. I don't know if the shade is going to be exact. That is the one thing about drugstore makeup, is just sometimes you don't get the undertones and the diversity of shade ranges. There's maybe like a smaller amount of shades, and there's not as great of a shade distribution compared to some like maybe more medium and high-end brands. So that is one thing that is sometimes an issue for people, and maybe why people can't wear drugstore based products, because it's harder to get something that is going to work for your skin tone, particularly if you are maybe like a true neutral or an olive skin tone. I find it hard because generally all you're going to get in the drugstore is something that's pink, something that's yellow, and something that's peach, and it's very rare that you get anything in between that, and they're usually kind of quite like a saturated color. So yeah, there's not a lot of nuance with the undertones in drugstore, which is, it is what it is. But I'm going to start with a primer, and this is one that I got free, so I just said I'd use it. It's the NYX Face Glue. I hadn't tried this before, but I was buying a couple of NYX products the other day, and they had this free. I was buying the products anyway, so this was just like a bonus, but it is a gripping primer. I've been using it this week because it has been quite warm. I'm just going to take a little bit and just kind of put it into anywhere that tends to be a little bit oilier maybe. So just my chin and the side of my nose. I don't think I'm going to bother putting it on like my cheeks and everything because that tends to be fine. This is just a gripping primer. So it feels nice. It's not like sticky or anything like that. It just feels kind of just like a nice primer. I wouldn't say it's particularly hydrating. That is the texture of it. I've only been trying that for like a week, so I don't really have full thoughts on it. I like it so far. It's not like blowing me away or anything, but I tend to prefer a hydrating or like a luminous primer. So I do also like a gripping primer or like a long wearing primer, but haven't formed my full opinion on it yet. I haven't tried an e.l.f. based product before, so I don't really have a frame of reference for what they're like. I did go in to the e.l.f. counter thinking that I might buy their new, the one I talked about in my makeup new releases. It was the Halo Glow Skin Tint with SPF, but it was €24, which I just kind of, I actually went and double checked the price online to see if it was the same, because it seemed like so expensive to me. I mean, maybe it's a bigger tube, I can't actually remember. The soft glam one is 30 mils, but that is the shade, and I'm just gonna kind of buff it in using my Lisa Eldridge brush. I'm not using drugstore brushes because I don't really have that many. I have a few, but not that many. Oh, that looks like a good shade match, right? If I go back, that looks like a good shade match. I'm gonna really start slowly and build this up because I don't know what the formula is like, so it may be too, I don't want it to kind of be too much, so I'm just gonna really go slow and see how I get on with it. But it sounded like a formula I would like, you know, medium buildable, satin, long wearing. I like all those things. Yeah, I just thought that that was so expensive. €24 for an e.l.f. foundation just seemed a lot to me. Like, it's more expensive than the L'Oreal and the Maybelline and like Revlon and all of that. This foundation that I'm using now was $10.50, so it just seemed mad to me that that one was 24. You will have to excuse my nose. My nose is so dry. I used this like a sebum softener from like a Korean brand, and I used it on my nose, and then you get this like tool where you can kind of so gross, but you can get this tool where you can kind of like get rid of the like sebaceous filaments and like any kind of like congestion in your nose, and it's kind of just made my nose really dry and flaky. So okay, so far I think this is lovely. Like, the shade match I'm really happy with. They didn't have the full shade range in store. That's another thing that's obviously an issue, but I think the full shade range, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm very impressed with that. Like, if I'm looking up close, my skin looks very natural. There's nothing like sitting in pores or anything. Obviously my nose is dry, so that's just gonna be a bit, what can you do? But I might just put a little bit more just to see how it builds. But yeah, so far that's like very nice. If I remember correctly, I think that like, I don't know if it went viral as such, but I think like people were giving it good reviews, if I remember correctly. I'm just gonna put a little bit more kind of in the center of my face and see how it goes. So I just checked their website there. The e.l.f. website actually ships to Ireland, so if you were ever buying anything from e.l.f., if you can afford to wait, I would suggest buying from their website directly because everything is so much cheaper. This foundation was $10.50 in Boots, and then it was €9 on the website, and then the new Halo Glow Skin Tint is 24 in Boots and it's 20 on their website. So I would say if you are buying, say if you wanted to buy a couple of things from e.l.f., if you're buying one thing it might not be worth it, because obviously you'll have to pay for shipping, but I think they do free shipping over €35, and then you get like mini samples and stuff like that. So I would say if you are buying something from e.l.f. or repurchasing something, you know, like a brow pen or whatever, definitely have a look on their website because they do ship to Ireland, and the prices are better. It might just be worth it if you're getting like a couple of things. But yeah, this is lovely. Really nice finish, very natural, very skin-like. It's not clinging to anything or sitting in my pores or anything. I have that dryness on my nose, so I'm not going to come too close to the camera because it looks horrible. But I'm really impressed. I'm just going to like come a little bit closer. Very impressed with that. I'm like really kind of didn't know what to expect, so that is very nice. I'm going to do a little bit of setting. I also have the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Mist, so I'm just going to quickly set that. Even though I am kind of testing it out, I just feel like I need a little bit of something. Next up, I'm going to do some color correcting, and I'm going to use the NYX Pro Fix Stick. This is their correcting concealer. This is the shade Pink. So this is it. And it's like a little kind of a creamy stick that you twist up, and that is the shade. I will do a little swatch. If you can see, that is the swatch. It's kind of like a, I would say it's kind of like a peachy pink. Sometimes pink color correctors can make my under eyes look a little bit kind of grey, but I think this kind of has enough like peachiness in it so that it works. So I'm going to just do a little bit of just anywhere I have like darkness, so just here, and then just maybe there. Really, I don't want to do a lot because I will add a bit of concealer on top of that because I have a new concealer to try as well. I've been using this for a couple of weeks and I really like it. They have like a bunch of kind of color correctors, and I just thought the tone was nice, and then it just blends in really nicely. It's very creamy, that formula. So if you are looking for a color corrector or concealer, I would definitely go and like swatch those and see what you think. I can do a thin layer and it's quite nice. You can kind of build it up as well. I don't know if the shade is as good as my color corrector from the same, but you can kind of like dab it on, like just where you have that discoloration, and just put a little bit more on, because that's where I tend to get that kind of like blue purple discoloration under my eyes. And I just use my finger because I just feel like that kind of means you're not going to go overboard if you use your finger. I've been enjoying that. It's been a nice budget option for colour correcting. My colour corrector that I use every day is I think a £5 on Stylovana and Yes Style. So this is more expensive, but the packaging of my other one broke. So next up, I'm going to do like a little bit of like bronzing. I do have the Cologram Reforming Contour Stick, which I use all the time, and that's so inexpensive. I got that on Yes Style. That is the shade of it there. It's number 2, Cool Tone, I think it's called, yeah. So I was going to use that, but I haven't used this in a while, and I really like this product. Again, it's from e.l.f. It's their Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour in the shade Fair, and that's the lightest shade that they have. So you can see it's that kind of like bronzer, I guess, the shade, that's what it's supposed to be. That is the little applicator, but it's a really good shade for fair skin. I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand. That's probably too much. I mean, that's definitely too much. And then I'm gonna use this like stippling kind of duo fiber brush from Spectrum and KJH, and then I'm just gonna buff it into the bristles and just kind of do a little bit of like light bronzing. So I'm just going to do it on just above my, or on my cheekbones, I suppose. Kind of under, slightly under my cheekbones. And this is just a nice product for if you want to just slightly give your face a little bit more dimension. But it's a good colour. It is kind of that perfect between a shadow and a like sun kind of bronzy look for fair skin. I'm just going to do a little bit where my freckles kind of become more intense, just around the perimeter of my face, just up here a little bit, and it just gives like a little bit of a just dimension That's all I really want. I don't want it to look like I have a tan, or just a bit more shape, dimension, so that my face doesn't look flat. You know, because I'm so pale, my face can easily just look very flat and one-dimensional. I think having a little bit of something to bring back the like contours of my face is nice. I'm not going to go too overboard with that. I'm just going to keep it very, very light hand, and then you can always use your foundation brush to blend that in a bit more if you want. I'm going to do my brows next, and I'm just going to use my normal eyebrow pencil, which is the Soap and Glory Archery, and then I'm going to set it with the Alicia brow. I'm going to do this off camera because I've done this loads of times and I just don't want to like take up loads of time reviewing a product that I've already used. So I also love the NYX Micro Brow and the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pencil. I don't think I've tried any other ones, but those are two of my favourites. So I'm just going to do my brows and then come back. I'm going to do my eyes next, and I have the L'Oreal Ellie Shadow Stick. Okay, I'm going to do my eyes next, and I'm going to use the L'Oreal Le Shadow Stick. I got the shade Magnetic Mauve, which is this one. Let's do a little swatchy pose. Oh, it's so creamy. That is it. I wouldn't really call that a mauve, but maybe it is, I don't know. That is it. Ignore all the other bits on my hand. Yeah, that is it. Magnetic Mauve. It looks like a really nice one and done. So we're gonna give it a go because I haven't tried an eyeshadow stick in such a long time. Let's go for it. I don't know how these are meant to be, so we're just going to learn together. I'm not going to use a primer because I don't have a drugstore primer, and with shadow sticks they're usually meant to be kind of like quite good at setting. So I'm just going to do a little, oh that's such a nice shade. I'm going to do a little bit and then just blend it out. Sometimes these kinds of products are better blended with your finger, but I'm going to use a brush. That is very nice. I'm just going to use this, my Kitco brush, to blend the edges. That's pretty much like an ideal one and done eyeshadow. Like, look at that. So easy, and it just gives such a nice, just bit of colour to your eyelids. That's very easy. Okay, let's see if this wears well. This might be a good one. I did look at some eyeshadow sticks from Kiko, and where else did I look? The Maybelline had a lovely kind of cool tone sparkly shade, but I just really liked the look of this, and I just thought this is going to be, I haven't seen anybody talk about these. That's probably a bad thing. It usually is. But I just kind of thought I'd try them because I really wanted to get the Half Magic eyeshadow. I think they're called Sparkle Sticks. But I think the shade I wanted was not in stock on Beauty Bay and their website. The shipping is quite expensive when you're just buying one thing. So yeah, this is Magnetic Mauve. I'm going to do a little bit more just to see if I can build it up. But it is like, it's probably, I would say, medium opacity, like maybe a bit more than medium. Very nice, kind of like a rose gold. I don't think I'd call it mauve. It's definitely more of a rose gold. I kind of did a bit more of a shape there, like a rounded shape just above my socket line, which I think will work better for me. And I'm just kind of trying to lightly blend the edges so that I keep most of the colour, because that was my worry, was that it was kind of just going to blend away, because I know that can sometimes happen with liquids and creams. I just think that's so nice. Like, I really wasn't expecting much, but I just think that's lovely. Like, I just think it looks really nice with my eye colour. And I suppose it is, in real life, it's probably a little bit cooler than, maybe it's like a rosy taupe. Does that make sense? So that is it. Very easy to blend, and you don't really have to do much. Like, you can blend that out very, very easily, and like, I don't feel like I have to go in with any other colour. Very, very nice. I might do a little bit underneath. I could be playing with fire, but I just want to see how it looks. I think that makes my eye look bigger, but I do really like that. I think it's such a nice shade. Very impressed. I'm going to do a little bit of liner, and I'm going to use Kiko Intense Colour Long Lasting Liner in the shade 03. I think it's like bronze or something. I was going to do my waterline, but my eyes are very watery, so I don't think I will. I think I'll just do a little bit on the outer edge and see how this looks. Yeah, that's quite a nice compliment to that eyeshadow. That's a very nice colour pencil liner. I'm going to use the end, a smudger on the end, just because. Why not? It's very similar. It's like just a slightly deeper version of that eyeshadow. I think it would be nice in my waterline, but I just don't want to risk my eyes watering everywhere. I'll just quickly curl my lashes and then I'll come back. Just because I can, I'm going to use a little bit of a Sea Beauty eyeshadow. This is the brand Novo, and I've used this in a video before, and it is the, what is it called? Keyboard Fingertip Cool Trendy Eyeshadow. I don't know what this brand is, but I just loved the shade. It's kind of like a dupe for Urban Decay Solstice. So you can see it is like a duo chrome, kind of like a purpley red and then like a green. I'm going to just put a little bit of that in the center of my eye, just because why not? That's it on my finger, and I'll just do a little bit in the center just to kind of give something, and that way I'll be able to kind of tell how the eyeshadow stick wears underneath as well. I'm just dabbing it in the center like that, and then I'm just going to blend it out with my other finger on each side so that it's not too much. But this eyeshadow I think is like €4. It's so cheap. Yeah, it's about a quarter or like a fifth of the price of the Urban Decay one. So if you did want to try the Urban Decay Moon Dust and Solstice, but you don't want to spend 24 or 25 euro, whatever it is, this brand, this Novo, they have like a bunch of other shades, but it is lovely. Yeah, and it's a very, very similar effect. So that is the eyeshadow. I got a couple of Essence mascaras the other day because I finished one of their mascaras recently, the Bye Bye Panda Eyes, and I really, really liked that mascara, but it didn't give me enough impact for my upper lashes. I was using it on my lower lashes. I knew that this one was a one that kind of people tend to really like, the Lash Princess, and I saw that they had it in a black, I think it's a black brown, is it? But it's also vegan, and a lot of mascaras that are brown have carmine in them, which I can't wear. So I wanted to try this because I thought if this was like a nice brown mascara, that could be like so good. I got two. I got the Lash Princess, and then I also got the I Heart Extreme Crazy Volume mascara, and I've been using both of these during the week, and I think they're both excellent. The two of these were 7 something. They were less than €8 for both of these, and I just think that's amazing. I kind of just said I'd try them, and I was like, okay, if they don't work, I haven't wasted that much money and I'll probably use them anyway. But I was like, I'll try these before I go for like a Maybelline or a L'Oreal mascara and see how I get on with them, and I just really love both of these. So I'm going to do the brown today just because I feel like it's not a really dark eye look, so I'm going to just do the brown. And I just think this is a great mascara. The I Heart Extreme one obviously is a little bit more voluminous and impactful mascara. This is a nice tapered wand, the kind of wand that I love, and you can see it is a proper brown black, so it's not like a brown, but it's like a lighter version of black, I suppose. So yeah, we're going to try this. I'm going to probably speed this part up because it takes me so long to do mascara. So I will do one eye sped up and then I'll do the other eye off camera. So that is one coat. and I just think it's so nice. Like, is it just a nice everyday mascara? It's just really lovely. Nice and defined, doesn't look clumpy. I just think it's great. That's the lower lashes. I don't think I'm going to do a second coat on the lower lashes, but I will do a second coat on the upper lashes just to show you how it builds. I just think that's so nice for a mascara that is like less than €4, or I think it's 4, it could be 4, I don't know which one was €4, but one of them was. But for a mascara that is like €4, that is pretty amazing. So I'm very impressed with that. I'm going to do the other eye and come back. So that is the Essence Lash Princess mascara in black brown, and that is it. I just think like really nice, quite easy mascara, great colour, and like I just think you cannot go wrong for that price. Like, obviously I get sent mascaras, but I didn't have a backup of one, and I was like kind of like, okay, let's try a like affordable mascara, see how I get on, and see is there like really that much of a difference between an affordable mascara and like a more like high-end mascara. Mascaras are the makeup item that most people are going to replace the most often because they generally start to dry out after a few months, and you're not supposed to use them past 6 months because it's not going on your eyes. It's the product that you're probably going to replace the most, apart from like maybe a brow pencil or a brow gel. So I just think if you can spend less money on something that you're buying more often, why wouldn't you? So yeah, this is really nice. I'm like so impressed. Definitely worth checking out if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a mascara like me. Next up, I'm going to do some concealer. This is another new product. I may have gone a bit mad, but I just wanted to test out a few kind of more affordable options and try them out on camera and share my thoughts. So this is not a new product, but it is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and this is the shade Fair Beige. I think it's gonna work. I might just put it on my face just for demo purposes, but I would normally put it on the back of my hand. I don't need to cover a lot because I used that NYX color corrector, so I'm just going to use a tiny bit there and maybe just here, and again a tiny little bit. This might be the wrong shade, but I'm going to give it a go. It's a hydrating but also long wearing concealer, so I'm hoping for the best. I'm going to use, I would usually use a little sponge, but I don't have any that are clean, so I'm going to use the Sephora. This is like years old. This is the like airbrush concealer brush. It's like called 57, but I've had this for years. You can see it's like falling apart, but it's still just the job. So it's another budget option. So I'm going to just gently blend that out. This is a neutral shade, but it does look a little bit kind of peachy to me. I'm going to take some off that brush and pat it in. A lot of the time that is the main reason that I go for like high-end foundations and concealers, because I just feel like you get so much better undertones, and I just really need like a good undertone, or can look very weird on my face because I'm so pale. That is nice. I think that shade is perfect pretty much. It could do with being less, it's probably more peach than it is yellow, and to be honest, if I was to go for anything under my eyes, I'd probably want a bit of peach because it's going to cancel out the like purpley kind of blueness. I'm just going to use my pinky finger and go over that just to take off any excess product and to kind of make it mesh with my skin. The colour is quite good. Again, because I had used that colour corrector, I didn't need as much concealing as I would without a colour corrector. But I think that's very nice. It'll just depend on the wear time of that. But yeah, I've wanted to try that for a while. It'll be hard to beat my House Labs concealer because that is truly my favourite under eye concealer that I've ever tried. Just like everything about it, the formula, the shade. So it's gonna be really hard to beat that. But for a budget option, that seems kind of nice. I do also love the NYX Bare With Me Serum Concealer. I wear the shade Light in that. There is a Fair, which is a little bit lighter, but that's a bit too bright on me. But the shade Light is perfect. It's like such a good colour and amazing formula if you have dry under eyes and you don't want to spend a lot of money on concealer. The NYX Bare With Me Serum Concealer, so good. I just don't have it at the moment. This is like a blast from the past, but I did also buy the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer last month, or no, it wasn't last month, it's the beginning of this month. This is a matte full coverage concealer, so I might just use a little bit of this for pinpoint concealing. Let's do a little bit of the Collection, which is a product that I had used on and off for years. I know that they have, I don't know if they repackaged it, I don't know if they reformulated it, I assume they did. But I'm just going to do a little bit on these little kind of marks down here. Just wanted to make sure that that's actually very good. I don't have many marks at the moment, so I'm just going to leave that at that because I don't want to go overboard. Okay, I'm kind of torn in what I want to do for blush because I have a couple. I obviously have a lot of K-beauty blushes and they're all very inexpensive, but for like the kind of Boots brand, this is really nice. I've had this for a while. It's the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Bold Faced Lilac, which is this shade. Really nice, kind of a pinky purpley shade. This has a bit of a sheen to it as well. It's just a really nice shade if you like a cool toned color. But I'm thinking what I might do is, because I haven't used these products that much, I have a couple of the NYX Buttermelt blushes and then I also have one of the NYX Buttermelt highlighters. I thought this would be a lot lighter than it is. This is the Buttermelt blush in the shade For the Butta, and it's described as a soft mauve, but to me that's like a berry nearly. It's not really a mauve. It's kind of, I thought it would be like a little bit lighter. If you have a deeper skin tone, these are incredible. They like, the pigment on them is like so good. So if you do find that drugstore blushes don't show up on your skin or they're just not pigmented enough, these are like excellent, and they kind of smell like vanilla. It's weird. So I think I might powder my face and then use the NYX Buttermelt blush and highlighter, and then I'll use the e.l.f. one another time. I didn't think that I had a drugstore powder, but then I realized I had this Rimmel Kind and Free pressed powder, and it has a little powder puff in it, and that is it. I've had this for a while. I think I might have it for like nearly 2 years and I haven't used it yet because I have so many powders. It takes me so long to get through a powder, so I just didn't want to open it, but I kind of thought, okay, I'm going to use it for this. The Kind of Free mascara was amazing, but I just said I'd give this a go. I did used to love the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. That was so good, particularly when I was younger and a bit oilier. I'm going to tap it off so there's hardly anything on the brush, and see, this is a translucent one, so it should be fine. I said I might as well give it a go because it is probably not going to last much longer. My nose is screwed because it is so dry, so I'm just going to completely ignore my nose. Just don't, yeah, I probably shouldn't have put powder on that, but anyway, don't look at my nose. I'm just going to set here under my eyes. I'm going to leave here because this tends to be the driest part of my under eyes with the most fine lines, so I try and avoid putting any powder here because it just ends up looking a bit too much. So that powder, like, it's okay. It's okay, that powder. I mean, obviously that's my first go of it, so I don't know, but it's gonna be hard to beat the Laura Mercier one. I think when it comes to powder, yeah, hard to beat that. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Spectrum KJH number 5, kind of like a fluffy angled brush, and I'm going to be very, very gentle with this because it is so pigmented. So I'm going to just tap it in and then tap it off on my wrist to get rid of most of that pigment, kind of just fluff it into the bristles and give it a go. I think my cheeks need a little bit of livening up, So I'm going to start here. If you have fair skin, just like build slowly. I've actually used a bit too much here, but I can fix it. I can fix it in post, you know? No, I'll blend it out in a minute. So I'm gonna try and do like a high up kind of blush coming from my eyes to kind of tie in with that. Oh my God, look at that side. Just to tie in with that eyeshadow that I have in the center. They have a lot of shades in that blush formula, but it's just, yeah, I thought that was going to be lighter. They're all quite deeper than they look. I'm going to use the NYX Buttermelt highlighter in the shade Butta Werk. I gouged some of it out with my nail when I opened it for the first time, but it's a frosty pink, which I like. I don't have a frosty pink highlighter, so I'm gonna go for it. Again, tap a lot of that off because I don't want it to look mad, but I'm gonna just kind of tap it on, and it just kind of gives like that kind of like frosty pink sheen. And I'm going to take the other side of the brush that doesn't really have anything on it. I'm just going to like blend it. Yeah, that's a very eye-catching highlighter. I might take some of the translucent powder and just kind of go over that because it's very intense. Yeah, that's better. Just needed to kind of tone it down a little bit. I actually want to try that on my eyes as well, that highlighter, because it's quite nice. But that is the blush and highlighter. Very, very, very glowy. Add my little freckles in. And then a bit of a spritz with the e.l.f. setting spray. Ooh. And let me just see, do I need to blend my eyes anymore? I might just take my thing and blend. One of my favorite parts about the drugstore is their lip pencils. I feel like lip pencils are a product where I don't want to spend a lot of money. I've been on the hunt for some lip liners that are suitable for fair skin that are not warm, because I am one of those fair people where so many products just look warm on me. I don't know why, it just is. It's just whatever the balance of my face is. I have a bunch of drugstore lip liners that I absolutely love, that I've used for years. They're just all great shades. And that is one thing that I will say, if you are looking to save money, don't buy expensive lip liners, because I just don't think that you need to. Like I said, I am going to be doing a lip liner video because I want to swatch all of my lip liners beside each other and talk about the formulas and how I like to wear them as somebody who's not really a lip liner person. I say that I have a lot of lip liners. This is probably a recent enough thing because I just wasn't really into lip liners. But I have come to learn that wearing lip liner when you're doing a makeup look, like an actual look, you know, does make a difference. And I kind of just like mine to define, but like softly define, you know. I'm going to use a lip liner that is new to me, and this is one again that I have been looking for a while. It is a Maybelline Colour Sensational in Gone Beige, and this is one that is kind of what I think like one of those like cult cool toned lip liners, but I really wanted to try it. And again, it's always out of stock, and I found it in one of the kind of smaller Boots branches. I'm really happy to have found that. I'll swatch that beside the other three. Oh, that really is cool toned. Maybelline Gone Beige, NYX Nude Truffle, Catrice Queen Vibes, and NYX Nude Beige. So you can really see how cool toned that is. That's pretty amazing. I actually want to see, is that similar to my favorite cool toned, like My Lips, literally My Lips but better. It's Lavender and Lace from NYX. Ooh, okay, Lavender and Lace is definitely more pink. This is Lavender and Lace, which is like literally my lip color in a pencil. And Gone Beige is even cooler. Okay, let's do it. I'm coming a little bit closer for this so you can see the shade of the lip liner. Let's go for it. I'm gonna take off any excess lip balm. Oh, this might be exactly what I was looking for. I could not find this kind of shade anywhere. Okay, that is a proper cool tone liner. Colour sensational, colour me impressed. I am going to blend it out. Oh yeah, that is like an actual cool tone liner. It's so rare to find a liner that is actually cool on me, but that is actually cool on me. That is a great shade for me. Because it just kind of contours my lips without looking obvious, especially if I blend it in really well. Oh, I'm so happy I got this. I'm very impressed with that. Delighted. Okay, so that was a hit. I'm like so delighted that that is the colour that I wanted it to be. Like, it's just so hard to find that kind of like cool contouring shade. And you know, you probably would look at that and think that's going to be too cool. But on me, everything goes slightly warm, so I nearly need to go like grey for it to work on me. I'm so happy. Okay, so I'm gonna finish with a lip product that I don't think I've used on camera yet, and it is the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil. It has a kind of like blue hint to it, and it is the shade Opalagitor. Like an opal. Opalagitor. Like Apologitor, but opal. Okay, not mad about that name, but oh, look, I like a pun. I just, like, it has to make sense. But it does kind of look like an opal. So I'm going to use this. This kind of has a minty scent to it. And it has a nice big applicator. Very sheer. Yeah, again, I haven't really heard much about these. It's like a little, only a tiny bit comes out on that. But we'll give it a go. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like it. Oh yeah, that's nice. It doesn't, like, it's very sheer, so it just gives like a slight blue lavenderish kind of tint to your lips. That's lovely. I really like that colour. Like, that's a lip combo, you know? It is kind of given a little bit of like a Y2K princess kind of vibe, but I'm like, I love that. So just ignore my nose, which is a mess, but I'm just kind of gonna have a quick look up close in the mirror. Yeah, I really like that lip liner. I really like the eyeshadow stick. The e.l.f. base products are really, really nice. Those NYX blushes, they're not my favorite. I do think that they are probably too pigmented for me. I have to be really, really careful when I use them, and that's not a makeup product that is easy for me. It is something that is like, if I have to really think about it, then it's not really, you know, my favorite. I do think that it is a great product if you have a deeper skin tone than mine. If you have like medium to deep skin, those are going to be great because you're going to be able to get a lot of pigment. I have to like really like gently tap my brush, and even then I still went overboard. So the NYX Buttermelt brushes, I just don't think they're the right formula for like my very, very pale skin. I definitely think this kind of product is better because I can just apply a dot of this, or I can mix it with like a liquid luminizer and make it kind of like a really nice glowy blush. So this kind of product I prefer to the likes of the NYX Buttermelt blushes. They're just a little bit too pigmented for me, and if you don't like scent in your product, avoid these completely because they really do smell like they have that kind of like really sweet vanilla scent. So I just don't think that everybody is gonna like them, but I do think they're a lovely formula, just not the right formula for me. The powder isn't my favorite. The powder is just, it's probably too old for starters, and also I just feel like because I'm gonna be 40 next year, my skin is definitely drier than it was, and I just think like years ago I could get away with wearing any powder I wanted, but now I have to wear a really nicely formulated powder in order for it to work but not look like powder, you know. So the Laura Mercier translucent one has just been like such a favorite of mine. I also love the NARS press powder. I do have one more product that I wanted to use, and this is the, even though I already used the setting spray, but this is the Tier Mask Fit Makeup Fixer, long lasting blurring effect moist finish, and it's 80 mils. I bought this from Stylevana and it was I think €8 or something, so that's a really good price. That just might help with that like kind of powdery look, but it is a really good price if you were looking for a setting spray and you don't want to spend like the money of an Urban Decay or Charlotte Tilbury or something like that. That is definitely worth checking out because I have been really enjoying that setting spray. The eyeshadow stick was lovely shade, really easy to blend. I'll just have to see how it lasts. The lip liner, really nice. You know, it's not going to be for everyone. It is very cool toned, but it works on me for a specific kind of look. It's not the one I'm going to wear all the time, but I do think if I want a cooler toned, like contoured lip look, that's a great shade for fair skin. And then that lip thing, I thought that I was going to get annoyed by the scent of that because it's very minty scent when you first apply it, but the scent kind of dissipates and it's fine. It's not like a lip oil like the Clarins lip oil. It is a bit more of a glossy texture, but very comfortable. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, the mascara as well. Yeah, I love that mascara. Depending on how well they last, because obviously if they dry out after a week or 2 weeks, that's not going to be great. Yeah, I just think that they're really lovely formulas so far. Anyway, I really love the formulas. It was fun to try out all those products. It was fun to do an actual full face of affordable makeup because I've never done that before, and it's nice to just see what you can achieve with products that don't cost so much money. I think what I might do, and I know this is kind of lame, but I think what I might do is like do like a total and add everything up and see how much the whole face of makeup costs. The reason that I wanted to do this is that you all know as well as I do, everything is getting so expensive. I just wanted to see if I could get a full face of affordable makeup that I really love. Like a lot of these products I think I've had for a long time and I really love, and especially when you look at the likes of C Beauty and K Beauty brands, their products are so affordable and the quality is excellent. So that is also something to consider if you were trying to cut back but you still want to maybe get a new foundation or get a new eyebrow pencil or a new lipstick. You can do that and get great formulas, but you don't have to spend like what it costs to get like a Victoria Beckham lipstick or something like that. So I just wanted to show you that it's possible, and that you know, affordable brands can sometimes be incredible quality, and they're not always, but it's the same with high end. I don't think that one is better than the other, you know. I think that I have high end products I love, I have budget products that I love, and products that I love in between prices. I just really wanted to do an experiment and try this out and see what I could do. That is it. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've tried any of these products. I'd love to know what your favorite drugstore affordable products are. If you have any recommendations, please do let me know, because I would love to test out more affordable products on my YouTube channel, because I just think that that is the way things are possibly going. I think, like, you know, as much as I love luxury products, like, I think a lot of people like me can't afford to spend loads of money on makeup anymore, but you still want to play and have fun and like try new things. So that's why I have been loving K Beauty and C Beauty, because you can get like such fun, amazing makeup at such great prices. So it would be great if I could offer an alternative to that is kind of a little bit more accessible here. It would be great to see affordable brands do like wider shade ranges and, you know, more undertones and things like that. I know it's, you know, you can't please everybody, but it'd be great to see more of that kind of thing happening at a better price point, or more affordable price point. So yeah, let me know if you've tried anything that you really love that you can get at the drugstore or at an affordable price point. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next week with another video.